Hello everyone, this is Carly at Crafting with Class, and today I bring you a Cheery birthday card that I created for a friend using some of my old and a new supply that I bought from Hello Bluebird, which is that cute little tree house. So this is a card that I created for a friend who's going through a little bit of a hard time recently, so I thought I would make her a cheery, happy card, and what's happier than Lawn Fawn's cute little images. So I started by stamping them out using desert sand memento ink because I plan to Copic color them using no line coloring. And so this ink is light enough to kind of blend in and give you that no line coloring look. So I didn't leave all the coloring in because I thought it would take too much time, and plus I don't think I do anything smashing as far as coloring goes. I am one of the colorists who begins with dark and goes to light because that is how I learned to color when I was taking classes millions of years ago from Suzanne Dean, who was fantastic. And so that is how she taught us who took her class to color from dark to lightest, and so that is how I color. So now I have moved on to the second little squirrel or chipmunk, whatever it is, it's really cute. And so I am coloring it in. And like I said, I don't think I do anything spectacular. Definitely, I think Christy gets crafty. She does a really fantastic job of explaining like how to color and light source and just the think aloud process of coloring. I just color and try to make it look decent, and so that's what I'm doing right now with this little critter and with the other little critters to come. So like I said, I am creating this card for a friend, and she's been having a little bit of a, sad time recently, and so I just wanted to make her a happy card. And so that is why I chose the little lawn fawn critters because, they just spell happy. Alright, so I went ahead and finished coloring all the rest of the little critters, and I'm securing the dies with some purple tape. And then I'll die cut them out. So now I'm creating the background for my card. So I'm using tumbled glass distress oxide, and I'm just doing a real quick just trying to get a sky background. So I don't care if it's looking half crazy, because it could be clouds. So I'm going to go with that. Now I want to create the ground, and so I decided I have not played with my watercolor powders in forever, so I wanted to take them out to create that like grass ground look. And so I sprayed some water, I sprayed them down. I used my Ranger heat tool to help the drying process along, and I really like using the Ranger tool for this because it tends to not move the water so much. So then I use my border die to die cut, the ground like a little hill type of look, even though it's going to get all pretty much covered up. So this is the new die that I just bought from Hello Bluebird, and it's so cute. So I did run it through my wood grain background border or background die to give it a wood grain look onto the little house. So now I'm creating the leafy part that will be on the top of the little house there. And so I decided I was going to put it through the embossing folder to give it some texture and interest. And to bring out that wood grain texture, I decided to rub a little bit of this Distress Oxide vintage photo, especially focusing on those edges to bring out that pattern, that texture of the wood, and give it some interest. Okay, so now I decided I'm going to add a little bit of dirt to the bottom of the grass, and I really did like how that made the grass pop even more because now it has a little bit of dirt underneath it. And I'm ready to go ahead and adhere this little ground panel to the background panel. So now I'm using my favorite wet adhesive, which is the Nuvo Deluxe, to adhere it to the background panel. Now I'm going to check and make sure that my little tree is looking like it does in my mind. So this die comes with all these cute little details that you can add to this little tree house. And so I'm adding the little shutters. There's a little step that leads to the door, but I went ahead and turned it around so that I could use it as like a window box. I thought that was going to be better because I wasn't going to need it as like a little step up to the door. And then I went ahead and again, I do this several times to see, if this is coming along how I planned and imagined. So the next thing I decided is I wanted it to give it kind of a look of like windows, or it had some kind of like sheer curtains, but some kind of window treatment or curtains or window or glass. So I added some little bits of vellum so that you can kind of peek through, but it wasn't just open. And so when I put it on there, I thought, okay, that if I don't put something in behind it, it's going to look like the treehouse is like hollow and you can see through the other side. There's no back wall. So I decided to take some little bits and then just cover up those windows. So I laid out a few of my critters just to see kind of how I wanted it to go. I added the little chipmunk that was going to, or squirrel, that was going to come out the door, so kind of to see like, hey, what's the fuss all about? And so because the little door opens up, and to see that there is a party happening in this little squirrel's honor, so I put it in there to make sure that you can kind of see the little squirrels peeking out the door. Now I'm going to add those little bits of cardstock so that when you look at it, you can see that, oh, there is a back part of this tree, the wall. Alright, so now that's looking more like how I thought. So again, I'm going to make sure that I like how everything is going. I'm going to put some foam adhesive on the back of this little leafy part of the tree. So I'm cutting little bits to make sure that there's enough adhesive on there. Now I didn't adhere it just yet. I just wanted to make sure that the dimension that I was picturing in my mind was going to work, and it does. So now I'm ready to go ahead and glue down the tree trunk using the Nuvo adhesive again. And I'm going to place it next to where I think I want it, next to the raccoon. The little raccoon is so cute. So now this is how it's coming along. I think I got maybe a little bit of glue on there, but it came right off. Okay, so now moving a little further along, I went ahead and just placed the critters. I haven't glued them down. I just kind of put them down just to see kind of how I wanted the card to come along. I did make a couple changes from here later on as I went, but for now I am working on the little banner, and I kind of cut it up so that I can make it so that the front of the banner looks like it's going in front of the treehouse. It's hanging in front of the treehouse, and then the pieces behind it were going behind the treehouse, if that makes sense. So I'm going to glue the other little piece to the other side and kind of tuck it underneath. And so what the look I'm going for is for it to be hanging in front and then behind the tree as well. Okay, so now I'm ready to secure the little raccoon. I'm going to give him a job to do, which is to bring a present. And so I glued the little present in between his little paws. I glued his little chickie friend next to him, and I didn't get quite enough glue on there, so I put a little bit more glue and put the little birdie next to him. Made sure that he was not in the way of the door opening. Okay, so next I decided that I was going to glue down the little hedgehog. So I glued him next on the other side. Then came the other little squirrel that's holding the balloon. So I wanted to make sure that the balloon string was not blocking the little hedgehog. So I tucked the string behind him, added the next little birdie, and then the little hedgehog was going to be holding one of those birthday blow thingies. Don't know what those are called. And then I wanted to add a little party hat to the raccoon or the squirrel. I ended up doing it to both later on. I colored and die cut another one. There it is. So it's on the raccoon too. And now I'm adding glue to the back of this panel and adhering it to the card base, which is A2. So 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Alright, so now I'm ready to work on the sentiment. So I use my powder tool to take away any static as I'm going to heat emboss this. So I stamped it with Versamark ink and use white embossing powder to heat emboss the sentiment that reads, "Today is your day to..." I wonder what. Right, so now I'm working on the inside, and so this is going to get stamped with Gina K's Amalgam ink, which is a very nice dark black ink, again using my stamp positioner. So now we're going to complete the sentiment. So I decided to make it easier. I was just going to write in the letters to make celebrate, so that the sentiment reads, "Today is your day to celebrate." And so there's all the little critters coming to the party for the little squirrel. I added the little extra chipmunk to the inside along with the extra piece that I cut from the top of the tree. So here is the finished card with the little peekaboo squirrel coming to see that there is a party for her happening. And again, here is a peek of the inside. Thank you so much for watching my video today, for liking, subscribing, commenting. I appreciate it. I thank you so much. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.